forget the guy that wrote Men Who Stare at Goats. He also wrote Them. I'm driving to meet him outside Bohemian Grove. There's like 5-foot deep fog on the ground, walking around at night outside a restaurant. And I'm like, I always saw this in werewolf movies, old 50s movies and 40s, but I didn't know fog really did this, because it was like, you ever seen fog, guys, where it's like on the ground? Oh, so you saw that at Lexington and Concord at the reenactment. Yeah, okay. Yeah, on the East Coast. Well, I saw this on the West Coast. I guess the water does it, the ocean nearby. But I mean, it was like fog up to here, and you couldn't see your feet. So he calls me up. I'm on my cell phone. This is like 12 years ago. I'm like, man, this is like in the movies. Like werewolves would be out here. It's like werewolf movies. He says, oh, you're scared of werewolves. He's basically going, well, I guess, yeah, it is kind of spooky. Let me talk to Violet, your wife. Gets on the phone. She goes, are you scared? She goes like, well, no, but it is really beautiful and spooky. Wow, this fog. It's just outside a restaurant up in the hills. It's like you go outside, you can't even hardly see the cars. And it was like really beautiful. In that book, we are like, they called up afraid of werewolves. Jones was hiding in the corner. So I don't believe in Corton, and I'm not really naked. In fact, I'll prove it right now, so it's become a conspiracy theory. There you go. I'm wearing jeans, ladies and gentlemen, okay? All right? All right? And Obama loves us and everything's fine. We should believe whatever they say, okay? We have the McBreen clip. This is McBreen, the dream, when it comes to graphics. Edit it right here. Tell you, McBreen can just walk right in here to do the news. No preparation, just bam. I mean, on target. He is the best we got. Here is McBreen right now, breaking down our loving leader at the 1984 event. Here it is.
Now, earlier this month, acting ATF Director Todd Jones, he sent a memo to ATF employees warning potential whistleblowers that they will face consequences if they don't respect the chain of command and ask permission to release information damaging to the agency. If you don't find the way to raise your concerns to your leadership, there will be consequences, Todd Jones says in the video, because we cannot tolerate an undisciplined organization. One of the undisciplined ATF employees managed to make a copy of the video. It's now being circulated, thankfully, on the internet. And, you know, I thought it looked like something straight out of 1984. Todd Jones looking very Big Brother-like in this clip. And, well, especially when you present it like this.
Choices and consequences. And when I'm talking about choices and consequences, I'm talking about the disciplinary process. What my expectation is, as the acting director, when it comes to the disciplinary process, choices and consequences simply means that as an employee of ATF, should you decide not to abide by the standards of conduct or the rules of the road, should you decide that you're not going to play by the rules, there will be consequences. Choices and consequences mean simply that if you make poor choices, that if you don't abide by the rules, that if you don't respect the chain of command, if you don't find the appropriate way to raise your concerns to your leadership, there will be consequences, because we cannot tolerate an undisciplined organization. And the next time that we talk, we'll start to grind down on some of the specifics about how we're going to actually follow through on this accelerated change that we've been implementing here at ATF over the last 9 months. Thank you for your attention. Keep your comments coming in, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
So there you have it. Whistleblowers will face consequences. And you know, Senator Charles Grassley from Iowa and Representative Darrell Issa from California, they actually sent a letter this week to Todd Jones declaring the message, and I'm going to quote here, it could be interpreted as a threat. Yeah, you think? ATF spokeswoman Ginger Colburn said the video was directed at employees who violate the rules, and it was not directed at those with protected disclosure. Yeah. Hey, do me a favor, play the video again, this time without sound. I'm going to try to translate what I think Todd Jones is really trying to say here. Hello. We will not tolerate anyone telling the truth to the public. Truth tellers will not be tolerated. If you disclose our illegal activities, we are going to F you up. You and your family will suffer. Now go back to sleep. Everything is fine. Big brother loves you. And by the way, I'm naked from the waist down. Oh, okay, you can stop there.
All right.
Stop. You know, it's no secret that ATF whistleblowers were instrumental in exposing the illegal Operation Fast and Furious. So I think Todd Jones is really saying, shh. That's what it looks like to me, so.
Okay, so make sure that video goes particularly viral. The truth is, they admit the re-education camps. It's admitted they've got the relocation centers ready. Most of this stuff's actually admitted. It's just it's academic, and then if you talk about it, the system gets, well, very, very upset with you. But, you know, I like the fact that McBreen at the end made a joke about these people, because I found that's the one thing they hate the most. They actually like the fact we get up here and say they're terrorists and do things like that. I mean, you know, to them, that's powerful. They don't like being made fun of, as they should be. Richard Pearl, known at the Pentagon as the Prince of Darkness, because all he talks about is how he wants to kill people. I remember reading an article like 5 years ago. We're at a cocktail party in front of a bunch of reporters. There were a bunch of women, and I mean, here comes over this self-propelled stomach, weird, you know, guy with this giant hillbilly, you know, gray hair mullet, and he comes over to the good-looking younger reporters, and he starts telling them how he launches wars and kills people to impress them. And the women reporters all walked away. It didn't matter if he was part of the Defense Department. It didn't matter if he was a big advisor to Bush. Just like, here's a creepy sicko. And like, he was bragging to the women. You know, I launch wars. I kill people. They're like, yeah, we see that. You're a piece of dog crap. I mean, you know, a lot of these people that are into evil, they just are completely disconnected from reality. And all they think about is just hyper dominance and what can they get away with and how many billions can they have, and that will give them all this power, and they will be. Because I've talked to so many famous musicians, high-level Hollywood people, household names, and they explain how even Al Gore around them starts stuttering and gibbering and falling over themselves. Well, Charlie Sheen one time told me a story about Al Gore on some 8-hour flight they were on together to Hawaii or something. I forget, for some speaking engagement. I forget the whole story, and how Al Gore was groveling to him the whole time. And it's like, you know, Al Gore is like a former vice president with it. Point is, these worldly people, they love going to award ceremonies. They love, you know, all of this, because to them that's success. It's narcissism. And sure, you got to be confident. You got to like yourself. That's not what narcissism is. Their whole world is an image, like a child dressing up, pretending they're Superman or Batman. You know, when I was about 3 years old, I was dressed up like Superman or something with my neighbor as Batman, jumping off the front porch. And I looked at myself and I said, you know, we're not really Batman or Superman. And the kid's like, no, yeah, we are. This is really fun. You know, I mean, at a certain point, I mean, I could go crazy and imagine I was the Pope or something, or that I was Brad Pitt. I mean, someone like Brad Pitt is applying skin creams on their faces all day and combing their hair and going out in public for the paparazzi to look really, you know, cool as they can and upset they're getting old, or you know, hiding out in Greece with Robert De Niro and who was the actor I saw on the news, just scanning over. He was with the guy that's John Travolta. And they're hanging out with their families. They're just people. But see, Madison Avenue, as Edward Bernays wrote, they learn to mix politicians at dinners with Hollywood to make you think it's some unknown country and you're unimportant, so they can attach products to sell you onto that so that you feel inadequate. Well, my God, I'm not a movie star. I'm nobody. Well, let me tell you, for whatever reason, because I'm seen as this renegade political guy, and I don't tell you the story to brag. I tell you the story to realize it's nothing. I've been in major movies, you know, with Keanu Reeves, you name it, Rick Linklater, Winona Ryder. Who's the guy that's the Iron Man star? hung out with him. You had Downey Jr. Don't even hung out with. I'm not going to mention most of the names. I can't mention because they, it was private stuff. They reach out to me, but people bigger than Charlie Sheen. We'll just leave it at that. I mean, Bruce Willis is a listener. I'm just going for hours here. This weekend I had Dave Mustaine at my house hanging out. You're coming to visit me. And that's great because he's a cool person. But that's the end of it. Okay, I'd rather, hang out with Dave because he's a real person than some other movie star or somebody. The system tries to make you feel inadequate and think you don't have power. They try to make you think being stylish or being cool is what it's all about. And being stylish and cool is great if it's just for fun. But if you'd give anything, if you'd sell out your grandmother for just money, if you'd sell out your morals for power or status so you could strut around or pull up at the restaurant in a fancy car, that in the hierarchy of needs. Let me show people the hierarchy of needs real quick. Hierarchy of needs is usually seen just like the food pyramid as a pyramid. And guys, give me a document cam shot. And again, in the hierarchy of needs, you need food. And you need a roof over your head. And you need, medicine. I mean, you need, it's really good two snakes there, isn't it? And, you need basic stuff like that. Now, right here, you need this. Which sex is just procreation. You need to continue the species. Once you got the food and you're surviving, now you want to procreate. You want to get a bigger house with a fence around it so that your babies are safe. And then you want to get, more money for status and security, things like that. But a normal person, once they get this level, they want to start helping the general community. They want to help humanity as a whole, okay? This is what they want. And they want the species to continue on to the next level because you realize through the species that it's a space continuum of the species, that's how you go on forever, and that it's about a love of humanity, a love of knowledge. You're not going to live forever, but there are going to be plenty of people who have children and have wives and husbands and passions and art. It's for the love of life. It's for the love of humanity that you want to go to this level. And so the globalists want to keep you totally poor down here, and men in arrested development thinking that's what picks up women is acting like a 5-year-old, some idiot. They can keep you down here. They can suppress you. You sleep, they live. But in their hierarchy of needs, the general public is dead. And the elites control the resources and merge with technology to become gods and blast off into space. Now, this is megalomaniacal delusion. You do not want that. This is not what you're looking for. I mean, maybe you are, but I'm not. So they want to cut off resources so you're so poor, you're totally dependent on them. And that's what, and listen, all of you that have sold out to evil, you're unhappy because you're cowards. You're unhappy because you're working against your own species. You're unhappy because no matter the fact you got a 6-bedroom house and 3 cars and all the sex you'd want, it's not real, it's not fulfilling, it's not bona fide. Nothing is going to deliver satiation to you except for being a real creature that is full of a lust for truth. And with that, I'm done. That's 30 minutes of live transmission, now an hour plus of Aaron Dykes, and then I shot a video right before we went live in here. It's why we're late tonight, part of it, where I broke down a lot of the news of the day. Instead of an interview tonight, it's Alex Jones reports. So here it is, served up to you, and I hope you get it out to everybody and pay it forward. Until tomorrow, vaya con Dios. Forget the guy that wrote Men Who Stare at Goats. He also wrote Them. I'm driving to meet him outside Bohemian Grove. There's like 5-foot deep fog on the ground, walking around at night outside a restaurant. And I'm like, I always saw this in werewolf movies, old 50s movies and 40s, but I didn't know fog really did this, because it was like, you ever seen fog, guys, where it's like on the ground? Oh, so you saw that at Lexington and Concord at the reenactment. Yeah, okay. Yeah, on the East Coast. Well, I saw this on the hills. It's like, you go outside, you can't even hardly see the cars. And it was like really beautiful. In that book, we are like, they called up afraid of werewolves. Jones was hiding in the corner. So I don't believe in Corton, and I'm not really naked. In fact, I'll prove it right now, so it's become a conspiracy theory. There you go. I'm wearing jeans, ladies and gentlemen, okay? All right? All right? And Obama loves us and everything's fine. We should believe whatever they say, okay? We have the McBreen clip. This is McBreen, the dream, when it comes to graphics. Edit it right here. Tell you, McBreen can just walk right in here to do the news. No preparation, just bam. I mean, on target. He is the best we got. Here is McBreen right now, breaking down our loving leader at the 1984 event. Here it is.
Now, earlier this month, acting ATF Director Todd Jones, we sent a memo to ATF employees.
On the West Coast, I guess the water does it, the ocean nearby. But I mean, it was like fog up to here and you couldn't see your feet. So he calls me up, I'm on my cell phone. This is like 12 years ago. I'm like, man, this is like in the movies, like werewolves would be out here. It's like werewolf movies. He says, oh, you're scared of werewolves. He's basically going, well, I guess, yeah, it is kind of spooky. Let me talk to Violet, your wife. Gets on the phone, she goes, are you scared? She goes like, well, no, but it is really beautiful and spooky. Wow, this fog. It's just outside a restaurant. Up at
warning potential whistleblowers that they will face consequences if they don't respect the chain of command and ask permission to release information damaging to the agency. If you don't find the way to raise your concerns to your leadership, there will be consequences, Todd Jones says in the video, because we cannot tolerate an undisciplined organization. One of the undisciplined